This retrospective is regarding the first sprint required to design a new product for a client. For this task, Cloud Group 3 has been assigned Project B, Logistics Asset Tracking. This project requires the team to develop a cloud-based asset tracking system that can be used by logistics to track company assets in real time. Overview of group activities. During Sprint 1, our team held weekly meetings over Discord, Tuesdays at 5:30. We chose to do this so we could verbally discuss how we would work together, how the work would be split, and identify and resolve any problems that had arisen. Outside of the weekly meetings, we communicated via Slack, collaborated using shared documents in OneDrive, and project managed using Trello. Tasks and activities identified as part of Sprint 1 included scoping out the user stories, product features, and defining areas of ownership. We also identified the activities that would be required for the second sprint and determined it would mostly be focused on establishing what technology would be required to implement this product. The allocation of areas of ownership were guided to some extent by the Scrum Master and the assigned position of the team members. However, the final role of each member was chosen by the individual. Once finalized, a list was created in Trello so all team members could clearly see what their area of responsibility was. Snapshot of project logistics. Trello was the project management tool of choice for this task. A new board was created for this product on which lists were set up to track progress for major tasks such as roles and features. As previously mentioned, Slack and Discord were the main tools of communication used to discuss the project logistics. Slack especially was vital to the completion of the project as it allowed the group to communicate it when it suited their own schedules. Details of sprint planning. After our roles were assigned within the team, we then worked on splitting up the tasks so that everyone had an even amount of work assigned. We found having individual tasks and tasks related to the project as a whole made it easier to stay on target and make sure all tasks were completed on time. Although the tasks were split, we as a team were always communicating that if a team member was stuck on a task or was struggling with a task, that they should speak up so the issue could be resolved early. The features that we are implementing into the product were identified through the client brief and refined through the use of user stories, communication, and Trello. We made sure that we were conscious of what the client logistics was asking for and that it would fulfill their needs. We also drew upon our own experiences using similar types of software, noting what we didn't like and how we think we would implement in a way that is easy to use for a variety of users while keeping it as scalable and powerful as possible. With the features being the very backbone of the software, it was imperative that we all agreed on their usefulness and we only included those that fit the user's needs. Based upon the provided requirements, our team was able to extract many user stories in order to develop the features for the product. Two examples of such user stories are: Example 1. As an area manager, I would like to see live details as they are saved and be notified about any asset in my region that has been updated. I would also like to be able to search and see other assets not under my region. I do not want to enter this information via a spreadsheet, and I would like a user-friendly interface. Another example would be, as the client logistics, I want a cloud-based product that uses Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure, so that we can be assured of the continuity and security of our system. While there are many great other user stories not included in this presentation, we believe that these two to be sufficient representation of the quality of the stories developed. The features extracted from the user stories included overall system requirements, front-end and back-end features. The overall system requirements included the implementation of a cloud-based asset tracking system, which will be easily scalable to meet demands of a growing company. The system will require anytime, anywhere access to meet the global reach of logistics business projects, and this will include live tracking and updates to the information in regards to asset management. Security of the company's data and data management is paramount to the success of the system, so role-based access to different controls will need to be implemented along with industry-leading information security protection. The front-end features identified require our team to implement a simple UI that has cross-platform capabilities, providing real-time access to the asset database, with the ability to update and view customizable asset data. The front-end app will also require the access and input multiple file types and the ability to generate customized reporting of asset control. With the global reach of logistics and the variety of endpoint devices accessing the system, stringent application login details will need to be implemented. The backend features to the system will include the implementation of a cloud-based database, storing all asset features, asset status, and status notes. The database will allow for real-time access and update of assets globally with an automated backup system to ensure data integrity. Backend security will include the implementation of role-based user access controls. System maintenance will be restricted and endpoint device access monitoring will be implemented to mitigate the risk of data breaches. With regards to our story points section, after some initial research on the different methods story points can be created with, we decided to use the classic numbers system. The number system uses a scoring system of 1 point, 2 point, or 4 or more points to represent the different weights of each story point. We felt this was the most suited system for the project and provided good coverage in how we could assign points to features. We then structured the story points in a Word document as follows. 1 point would represent 10 hours of work, low complexity, low level of failure. 2 points would represent 20 hours of work, medium complexity, and possible repeated testing. And finally, 4 points or more would require 40 hours of work, high complexity, multiple stages of implementation, and a high level of testing. We had already separated the features into categories, so we then added a description of what each feature should accomplish and assigned tasks to that feature based on some preliminary research about what is required to implement it. We were able to see a high-level overview of the project, being each section, the features and tasks within that section, and who was the owner of each category. This allowed us to visualize the features that may require more bodies and hours of work and what we would need to accomplish in sequence. We used our high-level overview and best judgment to assign story points to each feature. We took into consideration which aspects of the project, such as front-end features for user interactions, would be an ongoing task as it requires testing at each stage of the project and relies on all other tasks to be complete in order for that to be completed. Overall, we allocated a total of 260 working hours. This is 20 hours over our 240 hours between the two sprints. However, we decided best to overestimate rather than underestimate, as this gives us extra time if we complete tasks earlier. The story points spreadsheet and with the use of Trello helped us view the structure of the project and the path to achieve the finished product. We are pleased with the story points process and outcome. What worked? What didn't work? A few things that worked during Sprint 1 included the fact that the team is made up of students who are targeting varying grades. There are a couple of students who are aiming for high distinctions, and as such, they have been an asset to the team when it comes to ensuring tasks are not only completed, but completed on time. Team members were also assigned areas of ownership, but all team members have been happy to help out with the entire project as required. Overall, all team members have been performing in line with their targeted grades. Finally, the ability to use online tools such as OneDrive, Slack, and Discord to collaborate has also greatly contributed to the team's success so far. These tools have allowed individual group members to work on the task in their own time or even with multiple group members at the same time. Given the geographical differences of the team, this has been a big benefit to completing the project as a team. Some issues faced by the team during the first sprint were as follows. A few times during the sprint, it was hard to communicate with the team due to differing availabilities, as some team members were only available on weekends while others were only available on weekdays. In these instances, team members either caught up on conversation and progress by reviewing the Slack discussions when they could, or if required, decisions and task allocations were made on a majority basis. Another difficulty encountered occurred at the beginning of the project. There was some initial confusion over what was required for the task, and this led to a delay in allocating the work. The final item that did not work for the team was the Trello tool. The team found this tool to be untidy and cumbersome for planning, at least for this task. Whilst it was used, the team seemed to be found in majority that they would not like to use it again. Overall, the group was aware going in of what was expected from this task. The Scrum Master and HD students successfully kept the discussion on track and moving. All members chose the role they ultimately ended up with, and no one felt compelled or pushed, and the collaborative tools were of major assistance with completing the work. Some potential improvements could be looking into an alternative method of voice chat, as the use of Discord makes clarity and order of speaking difficult to identify. Apart from that, the group just needs to continue to adapt with working online instead of in person. Sprint 2 and final recommendations. The plan for the next sprint is to pick up where the first sprint left off. Everyone already has been assigned areas of ownership during the first sprint, so that should make allocating areas of work easier and more efficient to complete. Clarity will be sought sooner if required. Stricter deadlines will be established to remove ambiguity and to ensure this task is completed in a timely manner. By establishing deadlines and responsibilities sooner in the task, this should remove the issue of communication due to conflicting schedules. Final advice and recommendation for other groups. It is the view of our team that at the heart of any successful project is regular communication. We all have access to a variety of tools that enhance our communication and feedback loops, and where we feel our group has succeeded is in utilizing these tools to support each individual task, share joint knowledge, and when a task is falling behind, being able to easily communicate the need for help and have other team members take up the slack.